So headed into the 2024 season, there was high optimism that wide receiver Terry McLaurin could have a big year with the addition of quarterback Jayden Daniels. Fast forward to this point into the season, looking back on all the success that these two had together, they blew it out of the water. So much so that they are setting records and making history. Let's talk about it.
How I feel? Blessed. What I want?
Get back slow. I love the way she rock it. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, Shawty is the winner. You can tell that Shawty's love again now. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about Terry McLaurin and Jayden Daniels, as that duo is turning up and making history. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. One road to 8,000 subscribers, as you can see in the right hand corner. Before I had to take it away, we're 127 subscribers away from 8,000. So please help me get there as soon as possible. It'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. You guys know the ultimate goal is 10,000 subscribers, and that's literally just my dream goal, man. And I just hope I can reach it as soon as possible, man. So hopefully you guys help me get there. Share out the channel. If you know Commanders fans that may like the channel that aren't subscribed, share it out. It's literally free. You realize, right? You got to pay for Apple Music. You got to pay for Spotify. You got to pay for Netflix. You got to pay for so much entertainment services. YouTube is one of the only free ones still out there. So it literally costs nothing to subscribe to the channel. So please help me get there to 8,000 as it's back up on the screen here. We're so close. So that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the video. So I wanted to come on here today, obviously, to talk about Terry McLaurin and Jayden Daniels, as they are making some history right now. So Jayden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. Let me read this stat to you, right? Okay, so it just popped up on my feed, and I was like, why not make a video about it? Okay, it said this, right? Elite duo, Commanders wide receiver, Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels has a 139.1 passer rating when targeting Terry McLaurin. It's the best passer rating of any quarterback receiver duo this season. Let me read that one more time for you. Elite duo, Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels has a 139.1 passer rating when targeting Terry McLaurin. It's the best passer rating of any quarterback receiver duo this season. That is amazing. Now, the first thing that I honestly look at, and I know this may be bad, but I look at that, I read that, and I say, man, wow. 139.1, I immediately switched up what it could have been. What it could have been higher than that. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited about that stat, and I'm grateful for that stat for our quarterback and our wide receiver. But look at the stuff that's been missed. So many missed opportunities to make that thing that much more. And we're fresh off of the one versus the Saints where it stings the most, because Terry McLaurin should have had a legacy day. 4 touchdowns, $170 in yards. Like, he should have had an even crazier day, and this stat should have been even more higher. That being said, I really, and I know this hasn't necessarily been an issue on a consistent basis, but I hope this stat just proves, and whoever our analytics guy is in the building, tell Cliff Kingsbury, Terry McLaurin. Like obviously, right? He's not gonna be open every single play. I get that. But I feel as though your every play should start with Terry McLaurin being the first read. Like, or at least running this offense through McLaurin, passing offense, that is, until we get some more talent. It'd be different if we had another talented wide receiver alongside Terry McLaurin. Then I will understand why sometimes we may not always go to Terry or look for Terry. But considering the fact that it's literally Terry McLaurin and a bunch of JAGs, he has to be your go-to guy or your first look in every single situation, or at least make the play for him majority of the times, right? If you know Jayden Daniels is more comfortable throwing to his right, don't have your X just stationary on the left side. move them around. I feel like we did a really good job versus the Saints, moving them around, line them up left, line them up in the slide, line them up in the right hand side. We did a very good job at that. Continue to do that. This passer rating for Jayden Daniels, it just proves that like when you connect with Terry McLaurin and when you target Terry McLaurin, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a catch, right? Again. There were 3 missed opportunities, two missed deep balls by 5, and then one where Terry McLaurin stopped running. It could have even been even more higher. There were other opportunities in other games where Jayden Daniels overshot Terry McLaurin a couple times, but Terry McLaurin is having the year that we all envisioned. Like finally, it took 6 years into his career for him to finally get a quarterback and to finally have the season that his counterparts were having, the Debo Samuels in the past, the DK Metcalfs, everyone else that was in that 2019 draft class that had a breakout year. Terry McLaurin is finally having that, and it just stings me again that it could be so much more. He has a career high in touchdowns. I think he's close to setting the record or breaking the record held by a previous Washington Commanders wide receiver. Like we're doing so much historical stuff this season that you cannot help but just imagine what it would look like when we actually get it better. Like again, fellas, ladies, this is the worst we are going to be. Bask in the Luke McCaffreys, which I like Luke, don't get me wrong, but bask in the Cleveland Furrows and all the Sheldon Days and the Carl Davis and Noah Brown. Love Noah Brown. Think he's very good. But what I'm saying is this is the worst we're going to be. Right, these players and free agency are going to want to come to Washington. Given the fact that we're in a playoff push right now, and we can make the playoffs, and not only can we make the playoffs, but I genuinely think we can make an actual push at a playoff victory or two. Imagine all the free agents are going to want to come here. You hear about T. Higgins, you hear about Stephon Diggs, you hear about Chris Godwin. Those are guys that I want. Not just T. Higgins, because T. Higgins is the guy that everybody's going to want, so only one team can get him. And if we're not a team that ends up with him, so what? Right, there are other options out there. You hear Garrett Wilson is frustrated and he possibly wants to trade out of New York. I wouldn't mind having him here. I wouldn't mind trading for him. You hear Trey Hendrickson, right? Edge rusher for Cincinnati. Kind of like a way better Ryan Kerrigan. We're a top landing spot for him. Like, even though OBJ is washed up and he's past his prime, the Washington Commanders are a landing spot for him that makes sense. So I say that to say Terry McLaurin, it all ties back to Terry McLaurin and Jayden Daniels. He needs to be the go-to guy every single play. There should never be a game, again, Cliff, like the first Eagles game, where Terry McLaurin has 1 reception for 20 yards. Okay, that's not only letting your team down, but that's giving the Eagles fans and Eagles players that much more confidence that they actually shut down Terry McLaurin. Because you know what I've been hearing for the past month? Oh, Quinyamin Bay or Terry McLaurin only 1 reception for 20 yards. Like that's so BS. Because if you watch that game, Jayden Daniels, shout out to the Eagles defense, Vic Fangio, for actually throwing some looks at Jayden Daniels and making him look like a rookie. Like, it wasn't as if Quinyon Mitchell was just shutting them down. First of all, they played 2 high shell the whole game. That's 1. So it's always going to be safety help to that side. And 2, 5 wasn't even looking that way. So there were times where Terry McLaurin was open, but he didn't even look that way because he didn't have the time to, or he didn't have the confidence to. Terry McLaurin is elite. I remember I had my time where I allowed fans to deteriorate my opinion on Terry and tell me Terry McLaurin isn't that guy. But like just imagine. He has 12. He really could have 16. He's come up at the 1 yard line like 4 times. That best play that I've seen this season from him. Obviously, you can point to the Dallas one, but I still point back to that Week 3 signature victory over the Cincinnati Bengals on the road on Monday Night Football, 4th and 7. Jayden Daniels dropping back, firing an absolute dart down the sideline to Terry McLaurin, and he's just been a touchdown machine. And honestly speaking, I'm actually surprised. Like, I'm actually surprised. I thought if there was any stat that I would have thought Terry McLaurin would have increased that, which he is going to obviously have, a lot of yards this season. But I thought it would have just been yards. Like I wouldn't have expected Terry McLaurin to just be this touchdown machine. 12 touchdown we're talking about and counting, right? Like I would have thought he would probably had like a cool 7, 8, because that's normally where he's at. And I thought he would have had probably like 13, 1400 yards. And like, granted, it could have been that. Like he may not get to 1300, 1400 this season. It could have been that though. The opportunities were there. We just didn't cash in. Or you have the one game again, like versus the Eagles, where you don't involve him that much. Like it's either Terry McLaurin for $130 and 2 tuds, or Terry McLaurin for 25 yards. Like we can't have that. Like imagine if it was consistent minimum 70 yards per game for Terry McLaurin. Like you look at other wide receiver ones around the league, and an off day for them is 65 yards. Like for us though, for Terry, that's like, hey, that ain't that bad of a day. So if I think the only thing that we still have to work on is this the consistent level of constantly getting him the ball, whether it's a quick screen, a slant, a drag, a jet sweep, anything. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, man, on a consistent basis. And I think we're going to be very tough to deal with. And obviously, the one that goes without saying is just Five and Terry got to get on the same page with them deep balls, man, because we're going to have opportunities where we continue to get behind teams' defenses, especially this Sunday versus the Eagles. And I want to talk more about this tonight when I go live at 9 p.m. But they run a lot of two-high shell, and the way you break them out of that is running the ball efficiently or completing underneath routes. So Terry McLaurin, we know, is an underneath demon, but not only that, but imagine you get him out of that two-high shell one time. You can audible, if that's not even already the play call, but you can audible to a play where you like the look, you can take a shot. We can get behind this secondary, Cooper DeJean and all those guys, and CJ Gardner-Johnson, who we know is a liability in coverage. Like we can get behind this Eagles defense, and I think that passer rating could be much higher. Like again, 139.1, one of the best duos in the NFL as wide receiver and quarterback duos, but it could be that much more, and I know these guys know it. But that being said, man, I pray for times like this. Again, sitting through Terry McLaurin's career since 2019, seeing how phenomenal he could have been and all the yards he could have had if he just had a competent quarterback. It's so great to finally see him have one. I mean, we went from Case Keenum, Dwayne Haskins, Colt McCoy, may God rest his soul, that being Dwayne Haskins, Colt McCoy, Garrett Gilbert, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith banged up coming off of a broken leg. Like, so many freaking quarterbacks that it just doesn't make sense. And he still is a consistent 1,000-yard receiver, Pro Bowl wide receiver. And I'm just so happy that he's finally getting the recognition and the accolades that he deserves. And it's still a lot more that needs to be done. So that being said, as always, me and boy Juan Gotti, like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Again, we're on the road to 8,000 subscribers. We're 128 away from hitting 8K. And tonight I will be going live at 9 p.m. So hopefully I can see you guys and girls there. See y'all later. I'm out. Peace.